I find it so fascinating that London has 14 terminal railway stations, which are stations that are at the start of a mainline railway line. In a recent video, we looked at stations on the north side of London, and I'll put a link in the description below if you haven't seen it. And the video generated quite a bit of discussion in the comments. A lot of questions around exactly how many mainline terminal stations there really were. And I'm going on what they say are terminal stations in the London Station Group, where trains stop and start from. That will still get some discussion going, I'm sure. This time we'll look at stations in the southwest and south of London. I'm Marty, and welcome to Backtracks. In the last video, we covered stations in the north, such as Paddington, Euston and King's Cross. And in this one, we will travel to London Victoria, Waterloo, Charing Cross, Waterloo East, and finish with Blackfriars. And the reason I've grouped these stations together, well, they're generally serviced by train operators such as South Western Railway, Southern, South Eastern, and Thameslink. Let's start in the southwest down at Victoria. Victoria was built in 1860, and at the start it was the London terminus of two rival companies, the London Brighton and South Coast Railway, and the London Chatham and Dover Railway. So Victoria was actually built as two separate railway stations that were later connected by a concourse. And this station is one of the busiest in London. In terms of train operators, Southern operates out of Victoria and London Bridge, with services to South London and places like Southampton and Brighton. And one of my favourite UK places of all time, thank you to the goodies, Bognor Regis. I've never been there, but I've always been fascinated by the place. The Winter Olympics episode set there was a classic.
Goody, goody, yum, yum.
While South Eastern operates trains to the South East London and Kent, and the Gatwick Express trains that run direct to, you guessed it, Gatwick Airport. And the next station on the journey is Waterloo. It opened way back in 1848 by the London and South Western Railway, and it replaced the earlier Nine Elms terminus. Waterloo was never designed to be a terminus, as the original intention was for the line to continue towards the city of London, so the station was pretty much developed in a haphazard fashion. And one fun fact, Waterloo was the last London terminus to provide steam-powered services, which only ended in 1967. And another fun fact, which everyone probably knows, is that for a brief time the station was the London terminus for the Eurostar international trains from 1994 right up till 2007, when they moved north to St Pancras, which was the original plan anyway, but just the line to St Pancras, and I guess the station just wasn't ready. Waterloo is the third busiest station in the UK, and it was once actually the busiest. But lines like the Elizabeth line changed a little bit of the mix of popular stations in London. But it's still the UK's largest station in terms of floor space, and it has the greatest number of platforms. And when I first went there, it had felt like I'd been there before, and this is the honest truth. And then I realised, because I'd seen it in the Bourne Ultimatum film, and that chase scene through the railway station was just awesome. Let's move on. So where to next? Well, let's cross just to the north of the Thames to Charing Cross, and that was opened in 1864, and it was built as the London terminus for the South Eastern Railway. And it takes its name from the proximity to the road junction Charing Cross, which I didn't know, and this is pretty cool, that it is the notional centre of London from which all distances from the city are measured. Today, all trains are operated by South Eastern, which provides the majority of commuter and regional service to South East London and to Kent. And when you leave Charing Cross, you head south over the Thames and you arrive at London's Waterloo East. I guess it's not technically a terminal station, but it is part of the London Station Group, but it's an interesting one all the same. The station was originally opened in 1869, called Waterloo Junction, and it was designed to provide a connection between the London and South West Railway at Waterloo and the South Eastern Railway at Charing Cross. And for a time, there was actually a railway line linking the two stations, even though they're just either side of a road. But that line was eventually closed, and removed, and instead was placed a footbridge. And you can see here in this video, the red bridge is what remains of the original railway bridge. And because the two stations get quite easily mixed up, that is Waterloo and Waterloo East, the 4 platforms at Waterloo East are lettered rather than numbered to ensure that staff and passengers don't confuse them with platforms at the other station. And the final stop on our journey today is Blackfriars. And this one is really interesting, both for its history, but also for its location. Today, it mainly provides Thameslink services linking the north side of London to the south side of London, but it also has some terminating services, with a limited number of southeastern commuter services to southeast London and Kent. What I love about this station is that the platforms span the entire width of the River Thames, so there's an entrance on both sides, and it's the only one in London to do so. And while I don't want to get too much into the history, it's quite an interesting one. It was originally proposed by the London, Chatham and Dover Railway, but it only got as far as the southern side of the Thames because it was waiting for a bridge to be built. And when the Blackfriars Bridge was actually built, it carried 4 tracks when it opened in 1864, and a temporary terminal was built, but that was replaced by Ludgate Hill in 1865. But then a new mainline station was opened with the name St Paul's in 1886. And then this station was renamed Blackfriars in 1937 to avoid confusion with St Paul's Tube Station. It was rebuilt extensively in the 1970s, which include the closure of the original railway bridge, and in 2009 the station underwent major refurbishments. So there you have it, the southwest and southern stations of the London Station Group. And in the final video, hopefully coming out in maybe a week or two, are the stations in the east of the city. So until then, looking forward to the comments and the questions, and we'll see you another time when we have another look at the railway stations of London. I'm Marty, and this was Backtracks.